Welcome back to Blackoutpod, Binges, Benders, Tales from Rock Bottom. Today I have a very special guest, comic, YouTuber, podcaster, husband, stallion.
Oh man, you said the bad word. And
what? What'd I say?
YouTuber.
Oh, my bad. YouTube personality? Is that better?
Fine. Anything, literally any. You could have said, "This piece of shit is on YouTube." Sometimes
I didn't know that you were like big on YouTube. I thought that you were you started.
Well, not
in comedy.
now.
Well, is that how you got your start?
Yeah, for the most part.
Mike Falzone.
Hi, hello. I didn't mean to immediately poo-poo on what you were saying. Yeah, that is way better. I get mad about that because me and a select group of my friends were on YouTube in 2006 when it started.
Oh, okay.
So we were putting stuff on that website way before it was a YouTuber was a thing that you could be.
Yeah.
And then YouTuber became this thing that was kind of against what I was doing. To me, I was just a musician who was on the site because it was a very smart place to put the stuff that you were doing.
Yeah.
And then YouTuber became I'm going to open this bag and I don't know what's in the bag and then I'm going to eat it.
It's infuriating. It's infuriating. These people are selling out comedy clubs now.
I mean, anyone can do what. I'm not going to hate on anyone. It's just for me personally, that's not what. I was an artist, but it sounds so up your ass to call yourself an artist. But it's also
not if you have. And let me clarify. Because there are some people who are very funny who are on YouTube. And
for sure.
They should be selling out comedy clubs. But there are plenty of people who it's what are you doing?
Sometimes I feel bad because just knowing from the mistakes that I made going from one to the other, it's you don't necessarily want to have all of your fans come out and see you before you've been doing it for a certain amount of time. Because from being a stand-up, it's you could look back at stuff that you've done and you're oh, I wish no one ever heard any of that.
Oh,
stuff.
Fucking yesterday, dude.
All of my shows.
Dude, when I first got here, I submitted for The Bunker, Latif's show. And then
one of the many Bunker shows.
Yeah. And and his is elite.
Yeah.
And I submitted for it. And I was and now I'm mortified when I see him because I'm oh my God.
Because you don't know. Also, no one here tells you that you're bad.
Yeah.
Also, this is the quickest I've ever gotten into an organic conversation on a podcast. From walking up the hill to come into this apartment, to going to the bathroom, to being in an organic, nice conversation.
Yeah.
That happened like that.
Listen, dude, I'm a comfortable gentleman.
I'm incredibly comfortable.
Dude, it's so weird. I knew about you from a person before I met you too. Far before I got here. Your wife is friends with a girl who I went to hair school with.
Did we talk about this?
I think we did. Yeah. Diana. And no, you don't know.
That's her friends.
Yeah.
I make it a point to never talk to her friends. That's probably that's really cool.
No, it was very strange because she was one of my friends who I work with, her husband does comedy, and then I looked you up and you had a big following. I was he's not gonna want to fuck with me at all. I was I'm looking for people who suck.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, we all suck.
I think the first time I ever talked to you was when I saw Chappelle do your crowd work show.
Chappelle Lacey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
the shit.
He just invited me out to he'll subtle flex on me every once in a while.
He'll be come watch me do great.
Yeah, and then he'll go do a spot at the store and then just be let's go. And I'm what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But that's how you do it, dude. You gotta. That's the greatest gift is to have people who are really generous with their time like that, especially comedians who are. People have taken me around. People still take me around.
Yeah.
I'll get people who are regulars at the Comedy Store being just if you're not doing anything tonight, just come out and
it really is a gift because then you get the credibility of being seen with that person, and then it's
and they know what they're doing. They're non-verbally vouching for you, and sometimes verbally vouching for you.
And I didn't get it until Johnny Mitchell didn't like me until he saw me with Chappelle Lacey.
Does Johnny like anyone?
Yeah, maybe.
He likes me. So
yeah, he likes me too. He always, whenever he sees me, he's baby boy, and hugs me. But did not do that before he saw me with Chappelle Lacey.
Yeah,
not at all.
I like the people who don't really respect you until they're.
Me too.
Until they, it's you earn it. You really earn your place in this stupid thing that we do.
I think it's important. And then as long as it's on your side, it's important. But then it's also like, just don't be a dick, and then you'll be good.
That's most of it, man.
Yeah, it really is. Because like a lot of people are like, the buckets are rigged, and it's like, yeah, but if you make friends, maybe it'll be rigged in your favor.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And you don't even have to be great. I mean, everyone knows that you're not going to be great when you first start out.
Yeah.
Also for years, but you don't really. That's how people weed themselves out. It's like they get mad that they're not amazing, and then they stop doing it.
Yeah.
And then the people who stick it out are, it is just in my opinion, the people who are supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I talk about it all the time. There's no hierarchy to there's no HR comedy department.
Yeah.
So no one's going to tell you to not show up anymore.
Yeah.
Almost to a fault.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think as long as there are people who are great people who are just, you know, everyone has their quirks, but if your heart is in the right place and if you always want to get better at this thing that we're doing, then you could hang out.
Yeah, I think absolutely. That's
I hang
true.
out with a lot of people who just like personality-wise, I just normally wouldn't hang out with. But if I see they're out all the time and they're legitimately like their nose is in their pad and they're always trying to get better and they're always trying new stuff, like I fuck with anyone who's trying really hard to get better at something.
It's almost like a sense thing. Like you just know there are some people, like certain people are out a decent amount, but then the ones that like you all kind of just flock together because you're always there at the same time. But then you know what I mean? It's a sense thing.
And you almost, I don't want to put this on anyone else, so tell me if you disagree with this, but the stage, I've been doing this for like 11 years now, and now it's like I'll hang out with pretty much anyone as long as you're cool. Mm-hmm. But if you're like kind of a part-timer, there's a group of people who do stand up just to say that they do stand up. And that's also, that's fine. You know, everyone needs a social thing that they do. If it's the thing, if you don't necessarily want to be great at something, but it's something that gets you out of the house, like there's value in that for sure.
Yeah.
But, it's almost like there's so many people that do it and you only have so much energy. So you kind of gotta, you know, I'm going to put my eggs in certain baskets and not give my energy to certain people and give my energy over here. It's like, you know, it's like a very, like Clubhouse type of, it's like you want to see people stumble and get back up and come back to see who's in it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so. I don't really fuck with anybody unless I see them out all the time.
Yeah.
But just because it's like I don't want to, like I like being around people who are better than I am because it pushes you.
Absolutely.
But people who I see as like I don't see anybody as a peer, like in terms of like I feel like everybody's better than I am. So like I'm just like yeah, this is great. I just want to be around, and comics are the only people I've ever like felt akin to.
Yeah, cool.
And so, but yeah,
why
like,
do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't really know. Like literally, I didn't feel like I socially got along with anybody like to where I could just be myself until I turned 26 years old and started doing stand up.
Yeah.
And especially when I moved here, I felt instantly at home. And like I wanted people to like me really bad, but I also was like, I can't just expect that. I have to really bring it.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like anybody who's willing to do that and go through that same ringer, it's like, yeah, those are the people I want to hang out with, because that means that they're really in it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And like if you do it part-time, fine, that's fine. But also I don't get it.
Right.
It's the same.
There's
it's the
so many other things you could do.
For real. Like why would you just like to go? It's such fucking torture.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It seems like
dude.
there's easier ways to make friends.
Yeah,
You know, like you could
especially
join like a
people
bowling
in comedy
league or
are not
something.
that nice.
They're
not that nice.
Everyone's like, oh, we're making jokes, we're laughing. You would think a lot of people are like,
Yeah.
let's hang out, let's make jokes all night.
Yeah,
There's maybe some people like that, but it's not most.
not many of them. I'm trying to think. It's like Chappelle Lacey.
Yeah.
He just happens to be nice.
Yeah.
But other than that, like they're not nice people. They're just
No.
all like, if they think you're fucking around too, like they're like, I don't want to fucking hang out
Everyone's
with you.
real protective of what it is.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's okay, because everyone, you know, there's people who make all their money like this, and I think this is, again, me putting this on other people, but maybe it's a thing. It's like a territorial thing where you're like, why do you think you can come to where we work and take a night where maybe we'd want to show, or take money that maybe we'd be making if you're not going to be totally committed to an art form and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I get that. I get all of it. But also, veering a little off subject, the best advice I've ever gotten, aside from legitimately try to have fun on stage, is like, don't concern yourself with anybody else's bullshit.
Both great pieces of advice that I've gotten to, and it's so hard to stick. It's my ice maker. It's my ice maker.
Your ice maker beeps?
Yeah.
And it makes noise?
Yeah, it's
like
an
it's making
asshole.
ice?
Yeah.
Can you turn the beep off?
No.
Why? Is it part of the...
It's a budget ice maker.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
at least you know you have ice.
Yeah.
Is that comforting when you hear that beep?
No, it's horrible because I always know somebody, like if I'm on the phone, my dad has called me like 1,000 times and he'll hear that every time. What's that? Like, dude, you know what it is. You know what it is.
Yeah.
God, why do parents?
Dude, my dad did the same thing the other day. I had a bag. I'm not proud of this, but I ate a McDonald's breakfast sandwich the other day on the way to basketball because I didn't want to pass out during basketball.
Yeah, sure.
So I thought bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit is the
Yeah.
next way to go. Either Gatorade or bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. So I had it, and they give you like the minuscule brown bag, and I crumpled it up while I was on the Bluetooth speaker with my dad. He was
Yeah.
like, what is that? And I'm like, it's over in a second.
Dude,
Don't worry
why do
about it.
parents have the best ability to just make you mad so fast?
I hate it.
It's so. My dad goes. So I'm going to Spain in a couple of days, and I'm doing stand up in Spain. I'm very excited.
Cool.
And he goes. When do you guys leave? And I was like, oh, Wednesday. And he goes, what about the coronavirus? I'm like,
Because Corona is Spanish.
what? First of all, also I live in Los Angeles. If I'm getting it, it's gonna happen here.
Yeah, it's going to happen at LAX.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
he's like, what about the travel warnings? I was like, I don't think there are any.
Yeah,
And he's
not
like,
for Spain.
No, not at all. And so it just was like, it was like somebody going, like just
Yeah.
poking you in the side of the head.
I think, I don't know, man. I'm not a doctor that studies this shit, but I think with my dad, it's like I was an only child, am an only child.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like you're the baby, and then you move 3,000 miles away from your house, and they still want to know that they could take care of you.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like saying the right thing, so you could be like, I remembered what you said, and then I didn't get the coronavirus, and that's from you, Dad.
Yeah.
Thanks for protecting
He
me.
calls open mic shows. So he'll call me.
That's adorable,
Yeah,
by
he'll
the
call
way.
me and be like, what shows do you have? And I'm
How
like,
much did you pay to
open
get on
mic.
your show tonight?
Yeah. And I'll be like, open mic. And he's like, well, it's all a show to me. They're all shows.
He's
well,
so proud,
gee,
man.
thanks. Yeah. He watched me bomb.
Yeah.
Like back home, last show I did with my ex-wife and her family watching. And like they blank faced the whole time just. And after the
How
show.
long did you do?
15 minutes.
You bombed for
I
15
I didn't have 15 minutes either. So it was like, I was just like, you know, and it was a loud bar and it was so fucking
That's-
terrible.
What a terrible
Oh
time.
my God. Still the worst I bumped. And, and at the end of it, I go, did I do okay? And he goes, I'm just proud.
That you don't have the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So happy.
He goes, you're just so confident up there. I'm like, that's great. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I go,
What happened?
like that I bombed.
Yeah.
It was this loud bar.
Which is already like 10 strikes against you.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, like, imagine if we were talking right now and there was an engine revving. Like, you're going to be like, yeah, this is great. Yeah, totally. Childhood. So it was that. And then me being, God, I was like 8 months in and I was like, I'm a vet. I can fucking do this. You know what I mean? And so I get
Your
up.
first little stretch of confidence.
Yeah. And I had this confidence. And like looking back, I don't think I even had like a salient joke.
Oh, man.
And I probably did, but it was all like I look like, and you know what I mean? Shit like that. And so I got up and did that. People couldn't hear me. And then also when they did hear me, they were like, this is, you know what I mean? So it was
Like,
just,
oh, no, we can hear you.
yeah, we can hear you. It's just not good. It's just bad. You know what I mean?
You need those, man. Especially when you're getting that first wave of like, I got this.
Ugh.
You absolutely, bombing is the goddamn greatest thing. People talk, especially on podcasts. I think a lot of comedians talk shit about bringer shows and the shows you wish you had avoided coming up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of that regret, I guess, just time management wise. But I had a couple bringer bookers put me on every week for a while and not really be on me to bring people.
Oh, cool.
And not really take advantage of me. They were just like, we like you. You could have 5 minutes
Here?
on any of these shows. Yeah. So I would go up and I would just learn to bomb 1,000 times. Like there was this one show at the Formosa that this guy TK ran, and he put me on every week for like a year. And I would go up to him. I'd be like, how long do I have? And he'd be like 7 or 8 minutes. And I'd be like, okay, I have 2 jokes. And I know what I'm opening with and I know what I'm closing with. But all of that in the middle, I have no idea.
Just talking shit.
Basically.
That's a great skill to have.
It's my
just
favorite.
to energetically talk shit.
Yeah.
Because if you do it with enough authority, even if you have nothing to say, like what's coming off the top is, the crowd think it's novel for the crowd.
Yeah.
So they're just
and it
like,
doesn't always have
fun.
to be like people get so nervous to sit in the front row because
Yeah.
they think the comic's just going to go at them. And some do, but I was never, unless you're heckling, I'm not going to go at you.
Yeah.
But just to like going back to the advice thing, somebody told, I forget who it was. It might've been Steve Hostetter, was like, if you're actually having fun on stage, it gives everybody permission to have fun.
Yeah.
Which is like just the best stand-up advice that you could possibly get. So I was like,
great.
even if I bomb, I'm going to have fun. And then you learn how to dig yourself out of it. And that's super helpful for, like you were saying, like those loud bar shows, which kind of never stop.
Yeah.
Unless you're at a certain level, you're going to have to
now I
make
love
good in that situation.
Now I love shows like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it gives you a chance to like kind of, you have a group of people who are ready to be engaged if you're not boring.
Yeah.
But then also if you're boring, you just stand up there and eat shit.
Yeah, because there's so many other things to do. You could play darts. You could watch the basketball game if they didn't turn off the TV.
Dude, and the best part is like you're having a comedy show thrust upon you. Like most of those places, like you can't tell somebody to be quiet in a bar.
Dude, perfect example. I did. Where was I? It was like a rich person section. Woodland Hills. Is that like a richer person section
think
of town? In the Valley. And it was this very, very loud bar show. And almost every other comedian was yelling at people. It was, like townie bar.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people are there just because they're there every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And they're talking as loud as they want to talk because they didn't like... You see you or me, like you and your buddies are hanging out at the bar because that's your Wednesday. You play softball and then you go there.
Yeah.
And then me and you are like, and here's what's hard about dating, or some
God.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything you want to hear less than that?
So no, it's just you see it in people's faces,
Yeah.
like that they like are embarrassed for you.
Yeah.
And then it just puts in perspective. That's why I never get when people try to be cool on stage. They're like, I'm fucking the best. It's like,
It's
dude,
all a defense mechanism.
Yeah,
There's just
for
like
sure it
1,000
is.
different defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
So I was at this place and it was so loud. I used to have a clip on my phone. Me and my wife have a podcast, so we talked about it. I played this clip on my phone and it's so loud, like your show you were talking about. And people were yelling at the regulars to stop, and then the regulars were yelling back like, fuck you, we don't need to do anything. And I was like, stop yelling at everyone. Like, and exactly what we just said. I was like, think about how uncomfortable it is for them that we're here. Like, I got 5 minutes. Let's just hang out. By the end of the 5 minutes, when I was leaving, they were all like shaking my hands and being like, hey,
cool.
thank you for doing comedy in our bar or whatever like that.
That's great.
And I was like, dude, just like, and that's another skill that you learn, your first couple of years in, hopefully, is like how to read a room. And like you said, everyone's there to have fun. Like, it's not your job to put a roadblock in between people. You just have to help facilitate the fun that they want to have.
It's like when people fucking call out the crowd like at a bar.
Yeah,
and they're like,
you guys are
why
weird.
are you guys here? Like, what are you guys? And they're like, dude, this is my Wednesday. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how are you calling? Like, I did a show called Friendship Buddies last night.
Oh, I know that show.
It was
Aaron
great.
Herzog.
Yeah, it was great. And it was just over on a little patio on Verdugo.
Yeah.
And like he announced that there was going to be a comedy show, and everybody's like, wow. Like, he's
But
like,
it's there
he's
every
like, if you
week.
don't want comedy, then there's a bar inside, and
Yeah.
everybody stayed, and it was a blast. But like, it's so funny, like the shit that you have to. I love doing shows outside, and a lot of people hate it. But I love backyard shows. I love patio shows because it kind of gives you a bunch of weird shit to work with. Like in the middle of a joke, a plane flew over and it was really loud, and I just went, And the whole crowd laughed. And I go, is that a Ron? And I go, how funny would it be if I died doing what I loved? Like the most storybook thing in the world. And everybody laughed. It was great.
Yeah. Also, the laughs get lost in the air.
Yeah.
So it's good for your confidence.
Yes, definitely. So you can't really tell because it feels like a weird family reunion. You're like doing a speech and you're like, Aunt Mabel, aren't you?
My turn to talk about the family.
Yeah, dude. Where'd you grow up?
Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
Mostly Stratford, Connecticut.
Do you know anybody here who also came from Connecticut?
Yes.
I know so many people who
Dana
are
Moon
from there. Okay.
is from Connecticut.
Maddie is from Connecticut. Maddie Chimber.
Maddie Chimber.
Yeah.
I always forget that. That makes me happy.
He's the person that taught me how to have fun on stage, even if you're not doing well.
Yeah.
And he did
so
it
great at
inadvertently.
it, man.
Yeah.
He does. I help run a bar show every Monday called Valley Poppins in Studio City at the bar at Oyster House.
I've done it.
Yes, you have.
It's a great show.
I love it there
It
because
was fun. I think I did like the first or second one.
Yeah. And you walk inside, and it's literally like any other dive bar. It could be any year in the past 35 years, or it could be any state in the country. It's just like every dive bar. And people don't always laugh at your shit, but like Maddie's the perfect example of like, he'll always have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and you could tell like he has his stuff to work on, and then he'll try to, connect with people in the room and just try to get a laugh or a reaction out of any of them. And then there are people who go in there. It's so fascinating to watch how people react to that environment, because there are people who go after the crowd and are like, well, if why would you be here if you don't want to laugh or whatever? And it's like I said, it's all different defense mechanisms. But if you can go there, it's obviously not a club show.
Yeah.
And it's not a theater show. It's a dive bar show. So if you go there with that in mind, and you go there to work on your stuff and work yourself out of a hole, like it's so incredibly productive. But people get too caught up in like, I got laughs last night and now I'm not getting laughs with the same jokes. So it must be you guys, and fuck you guys. What am I even doing here?
Yeah.
And it's such a wasted opportunity, because I always feel like I always want to be known as the guy who can go into a shitty room and turn everybody around.
Yeah.
Because then people are like, whoa, how the fuck did you do that? And I
Yeah.
was like, you just find the common denominator. Like you said, they're all there to have fun. If they're like even turned towards you a little bit, they're giving you a chance.
Yeah.
No one wants to see you fail. Well, some people want to see you fail, but it's not the vast majority of people.
I did a show the other night where everybody wanted to see everybody fail. It was terrible.
Okay, where was that?
Terrible. It was called, fuck. It was at District 7. It's like a black bar downtown.
Okay.
And it was Michael King and Cab Washington. Do you know?
I know Cab.
Cab wasn't there because he moved to New York for a couple of months. And I think if he would have been there, it would have been fine. But
Yeah.
Michael King.
He has a nice energy, Cab Washington.
He's a very sweet boy.
Yeah.
And Michael King does not have that. So he got up and his hosting was about, and some other lady hosted and she was doing 5 minutes in between comics. So we're like, it was garbage. And everybody wanted to see everybody. It was like a club layout. You know what I mean? Like weird, like VIP seating, and then a bar here, and then like all the comics sitting in the back and kind of around watching everybody fail.
Yeah.
And then like 5 angry guests. But Michael would get up and he'd be like, all right, this next comic, I think he's got tattoos, but I don't know. And he's not great, but you gonna love him. And like, it was literally that. It was like,
you sound like you're doing a Black Mitch Hedberg right
dude, have you heard Michael King go up?
I don't.
Exactly his voice.
That's great.
Exactly his voice. Every time he's at the improv, wasn't Nicole, the
Amy?
host? No. Nicole, the open mic host.
Okay, yeah.
She makes fun of him because she's like, yeah, go ahead, get up here and fucking, because he just bombs every time.
Oh, shit.
And he's not funny, but he just like gets up and he has this ego, and then he just always eats dicks.
Yeah.
And so shit, like he gets up and he's like, y'all know what I'm talking about? Okay, I guess not. You know, like he'll do that shit. So I got up and it was like they plucked people and like how much time they were going to do. So it was like some people got 10 minutes, some people, I got 15.
Out of a bucket?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then Kazim had to
That's
do
very
20.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah. So, because if it's for a good audience, it's fine.
Yeah.
But Kazim had to do 20 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
And
who wants that?
I don't know.
Does he even want that?
No, I don't think so. He did okay because he's fucking. And Fatima Talea went on and just talked shit.
Okay.
And like they responded more to that than they did to anything else.
Yeah, there's some rooms you just can't do jokes in.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that for a long time. Like
Yeah.
I would go. Do you ever go to the other flappers? Not the one in Burbank. There was one in, I don't remember where it was. Maybe Pasadena. And it was just horribly laid out. It was just a room. It was an uncomfortable room. I think it's since shut down. But I would do shows there, and I'd be so excited. You know, you look forward, especially when you have like 1 or 2 shows a week.
Yeah.
You look forward to it so much. And then I would go there, and all these jokes would fall flat because it would just be like 6 people in a 70-person room sat just sporadically around.
Oh, so
room.
it was the Haha Cafe.
And
I love the Haha.
you know, dude, so do I, man.
Yeah.
It's every place can be good
Yeah.
at any given night. You think about the dive bar shows that we were talking about.
Yeah.
If they could have good nights, any comedy club could have a good night.
I think they all teach you something too.
For sure, as long as you want to get something out of it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between the people who want to get better and the people who just want to like have a tremendous experience every night.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird business to go into and be like, I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You're not.
Like-
You're not gonna have fun unless you're delusional, which we all are a little bit delusional.
Yeah.
But unless you're completely delusional and you are a sadist, I feel like if you like getting stabbed in the ribs, then fine. It's so funny because when you bomb that hard. It's like telling somebody your hopes and dreams and having them go, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. You're gay. It's just like, what? And you're just like, when you want to be an astronaut and they're like, you'll never be an astronaut.
Yeah,
Like, people
let me
just-
stop you right there.
Yeah, you are terrible. So bad.
It's nice, man. It's nice. Teaches you a lot about yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely different. What was growing up in Connecticut like?
It's pretty much just we were like middle class. We bounced around the middle class for a while, and it was just kind of like small town, you know, playing sports. I was lucky enough to go to high school and middle school with all different kinds of people, so I never had the whitewashed childhood experience. So that was nice and important growing up. Very Italian, came from very Italian big families. But it was fun, man. And then there was always that sense of like, I was in a band and I was always like, you know, this town is so boring. I can't wait to get out of this place.
Yeah.
And then everyone from Connecticut, southern Connecticut, is like the kind of general blueprint outline of your life is like you graduate from high school. And either you go, when you're 18, the plan is to go to New York City. So I ended up going to college also in Connecticut. I went to Fairfield University. And I always just assumed that I was going to be a musician or have some kind of job where I would work in the city. And then I went back and forth from Connecticut to Manhattan a million times doing music stuff, kind of wore myself out on it and spun my wheels and kind of took myself out of music. I took all the fun out of it, and I was like, oh, we got to go to Tribeca and play at 2 o'clock in the morning so we can make it someday.
Oh, man.
And I would drag my bandmates all around, and I've apologized profusely to them for dragging them around for years.
You guys still a band? You just
No, God, no.
Yeah. Okay.
They're living happy family homeowner lives in Connecticut
man.
still.
Damn.
No, it's good for them, man. They have like little versions of them, and
No, that's what I'm saying. Is it's
Yeah.
like it sounds like a cool thing.
yeah,
You
it's
know?
awesome.
I
And we
wanna-
had some great times. It just wasn't meant to. It wasn't meant to be. I talk about it like there was this plateau that I hit in music where I knew I wasn't gonna get any better. I wasn't gonna try to get any better. I was like, I'm gonna try to make it with the skills that I have. But with comedy, it's like I never want to stop getting better. I never want to like stop listening to the painful recordings that you take every night on your phone and go back in a notebook and like fix 1 or 2 lines or like switch a word order or what. That's my favorite shit.
Yeah.
So it's just very different. And so it was hard to push myself to do music and to write more if I was just like working with the same set of skills and trying to rearrange that set of skills to make something new over and over again.
Were the lows in music, did they feel similar or worse to the lows in comedy?
I think similar, but it's easier to hide it because I had a guitar.
Yeah.
And so I always had a crutch. People would clap most of the time when they knew a song was over because you strum out that last chord and the song's over. But when a joke doesn't land, it's like, okay, here's the end. And then there's no reaction from real people who are looking into your eyes.
Yeah.
I have this one joke where I talk about how my friends are always like, what did you like more, being a musician or being a comedian? And I said, comedian, because now when people laugh at the end, I don't want to kill myself as much. So it was bad, but I mean, when you're with a band, at least like you got your homies on stage, and at least you knew that people would clap when it was over and stuff like that.
What was your like saddest moment as a musician?
I played. I don't know if I could pick out one saddest moment. There was
moment,
a moment
or like time, you know what I mean? Like because there has to have been, if you're a touring musician, it's got to be similar to touring comic where like you get to that point where you're like, fuck.
I always thought we played we had a couple residencies in like the Lower East Side and Tribeca every once in a while. And like just dragging these poor guys. I had 2 or 3 other members in my band at any given time. And everyone had day jobs. And so it's like you get out of your day job at like a bank specifically, and you get in this car and you drive during rush hour from Connecticut on I-95 to New York City, and it would take like 3 hours to get there. Then you unload all your shit, and you're dressed the same, and you look like a fucking asshole. We actually thought we looked pretty good, but we were all dressed the same. And sometimes getting changed in the car on the way to the city. And then there's like 15 other bands ahead of you. Everybody has 15 minutes. But you're like, we got to do these shows because these shows matter, because you get discovered in New York City. You don't get discovered in Stratford, Connecticut or whatever. Yeah. And so we would go and we would play a set, and we'd always have it recorded on a CD, and then drive to like 7 to 12 people at 1:30 in the morning. And then driving back, the bandmates sleeping in the back of the car because they haven't been able to rest since like 5 o'clock that morning, and probably fighting about something, and somebody's drunk and whatever, and then listening to the CD, and it's not half as good as you think you sounded, and just doing that over and over again just because I thought it was what we had to do. It's just very draining. You're still doing a fun thing with your friends, but they don't look back at it as harshly as I look back at it, but I'm like, I was kind of ruining relationships. And I always felt like they wouldn't have come if they didn't want to, but I was always dragging these guys around and being like, we got to be tight and we got to be perfect. And it just wasn't super fun after a while. But that still beats driving to New York, because there was no place to do stand-up in Connecticut when I started doing stand-up in Connecticut. Man. So I would have to do that same drive to New York. And going to New York with my shitty nothing jokes and getting 0 laughs in like Queens, like in Long Island City, and then driving back after a bomb, or being on the train for 2 hours, like knowing that no one laughed at your shit.
And you feel dirty. It's like you just it's like you just jerked off or something.
Yeah, jerked off for 2 hours and no one cared.
Or you just fucked somebody and like lost your boner, and you're like, I gotta go.
I have to. You didn't laugh, so I don't have a boner anymore. But it's all hard. But it all like is such personality building experiences that you have to go through.
Yeah. So what's the breaking point after music stuff that gets you into comedy? Or were you doing them side by side?
I was doing them side by side for a while, and then I just kind of slowly fell out of love with music, which still kind of is so weird to me for a while because it was so much of my life for so long.
It's a sad thing. I did that with art.
Yeah.
And I can't even draw anymore.
Oh, because it's like a muscle.
Yeah, it fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's something that you dedicate a lot of your life to, and you're like, there's no way I'm not doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then seasons change and you're just like, you don't want to do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Sorry, internal burp.
No, that's right. I thought it was a death rattle. I was
Welcome
like,
back to internal
die.
burp. Yeah, just a light shoots out of my mouth. But I've had so many more positive experiences doing both than I did negative. It's just those transitional periods in your life. You have to like see them for what they are.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're in it, when you're, either practicing or whatever every day. And then you have these moments that maybe you should be like, let me take a look at what this means rather than just, I'm going to do it every day no matter what.
Yeah.
But the good times doing comedy and doing music make me feel better than any like drug or drinking or whatever. There are times when like just even a mediocre show on your way or coming back, and I take the back roads a lot. Mm-hmm. And over here I go like over Mulholland and shit like that, and you look to your left or your right depending on which way you're coming, and you just see all the lights in the city or in the valley or whatever. And you see a plane go overhead, or you see this like beautiful sunset, and you're like, I'm here doing an incredibly fun thing, and I had an incredibly fun night, and it makes you forget all of like people didn't laugh at a joke I thought of that day.
Yeah, it is very easy to get into that thing of like, this sucks, and then you look around and you're like, I'm doing this thing. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
There's a Kobe Bryant quote actually, which is very cool, that says, those times when you don't want to do it and you still do it, that's the dream.
Yeah,
it's a great thing. And when I heard that, I was like, like, because it just hits, because it's like, that's what I'm doing. Like, even when it's hard, you still fucking go do it. And then at the end of it, I remember at the end of a set at Madhouse, I went and did a set at Madhouse, had a great set, did the main room for the first time, 10 minutes, got out, just did my set, left. You know what I mean? Like, and then I remember walking to my car and being like, this is the shit. Like, this is when it's great. It's so great. Because you're like, I just fucking drove to San Diego, did my spot, leaving, feel like a fucking badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you go downtown and you bomb for 15 minutes. And I sat and stared at my steering wheel for 20 minutes. And I was like, I'm the worst person in the world.
Yeah, you got to be able to like break down your ego all the time too in comedy. It's like you have a pretty strong sense of who you are, and then like somebody asks you for your ID going into the comedy store or something, and it doesn't fucking matter anymore. But you got to be cool with that. I've seen so many more people ruin their reputation by being like, what the fuck? You don't know who I am? And it's like, yeah, man, it doesn't matter.
It's funny how much that matters. Like when you walk into the store and somebody, like one of the door guys is like, oh, you're good. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, what? I remember the first time somebody did that, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, I'll never forget sometime I gave the guy my ID because I always just I don't even want to be put in that position anymore. Yeah. Where it's like they might not know.
I always have it out. Yeah, for sure.
So I gave some guy my ID. I think it was Darius. And he looked at us before we knew of each other. And he goes, Mike Falzone, oh, I've heard of you. I heard you're really funny. And I was like, we're at the Comedy Store. Yeah. And the door guy, and it wasn't the first time that's happened. And I was like, that makes all the times, like you were saying, when you don't want to go out and you do, like you don't have a show, but you go to an open mic to work on like the most minuscule part of a joke. Like that makes all of that very worth it. Yeah. And to a normal person, like that wouldn't mean anything. It's a very weird like award system we have. Yeah,
I got to call in a couple of favors and like do some features at open mics and stuff to prepare for going to Europe. Uh-huh. And I was like, a year ago I couldn't fucking do this. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, now I just have credibility. Mm-hmm. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah,
like,
you forge these relationships.
Yeah, it was great. And like I went out to the OC and did a show, like an open mic, and I was their feature, and I like did really well at this like kind of rough open mic, and I was like, yeah, this is sick. This is fucking sick. And then I bombed, and then I bombed 2 days later.
It's all very sick.
I always know it's coming. I always know it's coming. I'm like, I did really well 5 times. That means I'm gonna do horribly soon.
You're due.
Yeah. What is like, this is maybe a cliche question. What do you think made you a comic? Like, what do you think made you get into it? You mentioned you were an only child.
I was an only child.
Were you bullied?
Yes, but not. It was just part of where I grew up. It's like you're the new. I was fat as well.
Me too.
You were fat.
Yeah.
You talk about it on stage, and it just makes you an easy target. And so I was bullied a lot, and I never really had anyone to stick up for me. And then in middle school, I was kind of popular and pretty athletic. And then high school again is like everyone kind of breaks off into their cliques. And I didn't play football, but a lot of my best friends played football, and they they get in with other kids, and it's very important to the freshmen that like the upperclassmen like them.
Yeah.
And I never really, I would have one or two upperclassmen friends, but it was all like kind of foreign. So the toughest part for me was I would have my friends break away, go to these other groups, then come back and make fun of me in front of their friends. And I was like, we were best friends in middle school. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
So the way that you would get respect where I'm from is like if you don't give it back fast, then you get bulldozed and it doesn't matter anymore. And dude, I'll never forget like sophomore year in high school, I just started giving it to everybody. And it was kind of your rite of passage. Like I also like, I guess it was bullying, but I used to make fun of everybody, upperclassmen, people that were lower than me, because it's like I went through this and then you fight your way through it.
Yeah.
And then you do that to other people. And it's just this cycle.
I don't think it's bullying because like what it is, man, like if I would have had I remember I had some groups of friends that did that, but like I didn't grow up with that. So I had to learn that skill. I was so sensitive. Like I still get super sensitive. And so like if I'm not in the right mood, and now it's like people can fuck with me, and like depending on the person, I'm like, yeah, this is just how we fucking talk.
Right.
But I would have loved having that when I was a kid. I was such a pussy. I like look back and I was so soft, like in every aspect.
But everybody, you're a kid.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to look at the world with a hardened like
That's true.
perspective when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm glad it happened. It forged a lot of my personality.
What do you think your most embarrassing moment was?
Like when I was a kid?
At all?
Or in general?
Yeah, in general. Let's say when you're a kid, because we'll keep on brand for the second.
I don't know, man. There's probably a bunch.
You got an embarrassing fat kid moment?
Just being a fat kid was embarrassing.
It's
the
so
first time
weird.
you take your shirt off and like you think that you're normal, but everyone else is like, why do you look like that? Like that sucks.
Dude.
To be the only kid on the playing shirts and skins basketball who are like,
Yeah, with stretch
maybe
marks.
you could switch teams.
Oh, dude, it's so terrible.
Yeah.
Like going to the pool and swimming with your shirt on and shit.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
I used
yeah.
to swim with my shirt on.
Always,
It was like,
yeah.
And it was like nobody knows. It's
No.
like they all know. They just know more now.
Yeah, it's like using a highlighter on yourself.
Yeah, dude. One time I went and fucking. Oh God, this is so. I was hanging out with some friends, and they brought a girl along with them, and the girl liked me.
Gross.
And yeah, the girl liked me, and so we like. I was probably like 14, 15, and we like kissed, and then we went to these hot tubs. And, like we snuck into this hotel and went to the hot tubs, and I remember I took my shirt off, and I just remember the look on her face.
Was she pretty?
Yes.
That's the
like
worst.
at the time she was pretty, and then I
Yeah.
look back now, and then the funniest part was then my dad had, and then I lost a bunch of weight, and I probably had I got skinnier by the time I was like 18, and at the time I was like 15, and then I lost a bunch of weight, and then my dad had a business party, for like a Christmas party for his company.
He's like, come watch my kid take his shirt off. Come on, guys, gather around.
Stupid. So I was like, I looked better, and then she was a caterer at this Christmas party, and I remember her being like, "Hey Pete," and I'm like, "Hey bitch,
Yeah, get me a fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
Get me some finger foods.
dude." But then that same night when she just was like, "Oh my God," I remember going like to the bathroom, and my buddy met me in the bathroom. He's like, "Dude, what happened to you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, and just points at my stomach.
What the fuck? What happened to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. A cheeseburger?
Yeah, dude. Have you ever had food before?
It's so good.
So good.
You ever just lock yourself in the house and finish a full pizza by yourself?
Dude, I look back on the stuff that made me fat, and
Yeah.
I was like, why am I fat? And then like I look back, and I would just eat so much.
I ate a sleeve of fun-sized candy bars last night and
Oh,
thought,
did you?
Oh, dude. Well, not last night, but when I was a kid,
Oh yeah.
my dad would go to Stop and Shop and just bring back like Reese's peanut butter cups, like in a bag, or
that
like a
enabling son of a
sleeve
bitch.
of. He just wanted me to be
Yeah, I
happy.
know. I know. That's what my dad did too.
Dude, a sleeve of fun-sized Fifth Avenue bars. No one ever knows what the fuck I'm talking about when I talk about Fifth Avenue.
know what you're talking
bars.
about.
All right, good.
Yeah.
And if you don't, unsubscribe to the podcast.
Yeah.
So
fuck
I would just, eat all of them in a night, and I would just have like caffeine-free Coke, and I would just drink the 2 liter. And I'd be like, why don't girls like me?
Dude, I would.
You have to have such a good personality to be able to eat.
So,
like
and my personality wasn't even that good. My personality wasn't even good until I turned like 26. And then I was like, I can be goofy. You know what I mean? And then I started being fun.
Yeah.
When I was a fat kid, I was just a bitch. I was just a little bitch.
Yeah, you don't know any better, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, going back to what you said about, like, what was the thing that made you want to be a comedian? For years, I straight up didn't think I was smart enough to do that. I would watch, I'd listen to my dad's Steve Martin records or Richard Pryor records, and I would watch all these things he had taped off the TV on VHS, and I'd be like, oh, that's just a different caliber of person.
Totally.
And I never thought that I was that because I never thought that I was very smart. I didn't have confidence like that. And then I did music, and I liked my personality more. I went through high school and I changed like that. And I started getting a little more hard and quick and witty because I had to, because I wanted to have friends.
Yeah.
And then, you lose weight, and I played a lot of sports, and that gave me confidence. And then at some point I started talking to the camera on YouTube stuff. I think one of my first sitting down talking to the camera videos was it's called How to Find True Love Today. It was like a tongue-in-cheek, like a kind of a sarcastic life advice thing.
Yeah.
And then when I was around this age that we're talking about, 26, 27, I got real sick and I went into the hospital, and certain things happened. I didn't know if I was going to come out of the hospital. I think the doctor even came out and talked to my dad, and he was like, I don't know if he's going to make it, but we're going to do our best. Yeah. It was all fucked up. So that was the lowest point in my life. When I went there, I had a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in your lungs, and you could die from that.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop. So when I came out of that, I was like, oh, time is the most important thing that any of us have. So if I could give people lessons from my past, things that I've learned personally and had personal experience with, and save somebody a little bit of time here and there, that is the greatest gift you could possibly give to anyone. So I just tried to make those funny, and that's where being a stand-up comedian came from. It's like you have to have these fucked up life experiences. Not always fucked up, but you have to have life experience.
It's got to be real.
It has to teach you about, how to get through stuff, or these shared experiences that we all have that maybe we don't want to talk about all the time. But it brings everybody closer. Because there's only so many things you can go through. A lot of people go through the same shit.
Yeah.
So even us, we've been through a lot of the same shit. We're total strangers.
Yeah. It's very strange. Yeah. That's interesting. That's a fucking crazy thing to go through when you.
Yeah, I mean,
how did
sucks,
you find
man.
out?
So I had appendicitis, and my appendix. If your appendix bursts, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's like game over.
Yeah.
So my appendix burst on the operating table.
Jesus Christ.
And it caused like a sepsis of my entire body. That's when like your body is
just shutting
infected.
down. Yeah.
So they ended up clearing that out. And then I was in the hospital for like a week. They discharged me. At that time, I had fought really hard to get this like social media job at this, I don't even remember what kind of company it was. They like found gigs for creative professional people. Okay, yeah, for sure. Do you want me to keep talking or stop talking? Okay, so I got fired from this job that I worked really hard for, and I was super let down about that. I tried to come back too early, and one day I was at home after I got discharged, and I couldn't breathe. I was like having a hard time breathing. So I called up the hospital. I had a fever, and they were like, "Come back because we think you have this blood clot." And I'm so happy I didn't fully understand what that meant.
Yeah.
Because basically, when you get a blood clot, it can go to one of your end organs, which is like your heart, your brain, or your lungs, and then you just die. So I had a
buddy
blood
who
clot,
just died of a blood, or he had a blood clot that killed him like 2 years ago.
like an aneurysm or something.
Yeah, he
like
was
that.
29 or 30.
No, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Oh, it was like I didn't know him super. He was just in a hotel and he had an aneurysm. Just fucking.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like not to be grim, but you never know. So it's like when I got out, I was on blood thinners for like a year after that, and which is like rat poison. You have to take rat poison every day to thin out your blood. You know. So I was with my then girlfriend, now wife at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, if I'm gonna try to make a go at this comedy thing, I gotta go to where I'm gonna get the best shot, you know? So I didn't want to move to New York because I had burnt myself out on New York with the music stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna go here.
You guys were in Connecticut at the time?
We were in Connecticut,
Okay.
yeah. So that was probably like 8 or 9 years ago. And ever since we moved here, it's just been like go as hard as you can at comedy, and we work really hard for each other and for the things we want to accomplish. And we've just like, it's hard all the time, but it's the life experience that we've gotten to have, even just in the past 8 years alone, it's just amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to go all around the country and have people show up, and it's really insane.
You guys, it seems like you have a good. I've only seen you together once or twice, but it seems like you have a good connection. She seems like a very like strong person too.
Yeah.
She's a very sweet person.
She's very sweet. She's very strong, and she's very no bullshit. She's incredibly no bullshit, and she is the best judge of character of anyone I know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. My wife's name is Zoya. We have a podcast called Welcome to Our Podcast that we've had for about 8 years now.
I didn't know you'd had it for that long.
Yeah, for sure. We were on a different server at first, and we had to switch servers because it was like they were inflating numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we were just like, we didn't know, you know.
Do you have a
So,
different podcast too?
I have one with my wife,
Okay.
which is that one. And then I have one with my friend Steve, which is called Dynamic Banter. That's pretty popular, and relatively speaking. And then I have one that I kind of do off and on with my friend Olin called We're In This Together.
Okay. I think that's the one that I saw other than the one with Zoya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. When I met Zoya, I met her before I met you.
Okay.
Because I met her at your Eno Vino show.
Yeah, nice.
Who the fuck was doing it? Chappelle was doing it. Chappelle, Ali Mack, and a bunch of other people, and I was hanging out. And then I saw her, and I was like, "Hey, do you know Diana?" And then she was very sweet to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's cool." And then
She's a good person.
I was very
man.
scared
She wants
of meeting you.
Yeah.
Why? Because you had my presumption of LA was anybody who has a following is going to be an asshole. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess to keep yourself safe, that's a pretty good way to go.
I figured anybody with 10,000 followers plus would be like, I don't need to talk to you.
No, man.
And then they've
not
all
at all.
been the best people.
Yeah.
They've all been the best people. I thought Amy Silverberg was going to be mean. I don't know why. Have you met her?
Not that I could remember, but probably. I'm
Yeah.
very bad with names.
She's a short, blonde, little Jewish girl. She just had a thing on Comedy Central.
Oh, cool.
And she was on here, and she was like, I thought she was going to be mean. She was so nice.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
maybe it's just my fucking, you know what I mean?
I mean, probably, right?
protect
we all
myself.
have like little insecurities and
Yeah.
stuff. There are people who I still get nervous around, and they're like, it's weird that you're nervous.
I get nervous around a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody I have any respect for, I'm usually a little bit like,
Any amount of respect.
Yeah.
The guy who makes my sandwich.
yeah,
Anyone.
don't spin it. But you can if you want. I mean,
If you
that's-
want to spin.
if that's what makes it better. I don't know.
You're the sandwich
You're the
guy.
sandwich artist. You're the artist. Hey, remember when Subway convinced you that you could eat 3 baguettes a day? You were 3 artificial baguettes.
As long as you walked to the location.
Yeah.
Regardless
How far
of
was he
close.
walking? He had to have walked so far.
Fuck that guy, man.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Fuck
Jesus
that guy.
Christ.
Fuck all of his pants. His stupid pants.
Dude, he looked like such a creep, losing weight, and he was so androgynous. It was not even funny.
He's just kind of like a lump of a person.
Yeah, he wasn't fit necessarily.
Yeah.
Like that was the best part was he lost weight.
Dude, you can't just make someone a spokesperson because they like sandwiches. Like, that's not the person you want to send out to a middle school. You know?
And well, I mean, and then we found out later you for sure didn't want to
Yeah,
send him
man,
to a
you
middle
fucking
school.
you learned that lesson the hard way, Subway.
Did you see him on Super Size Me?
No, I don't remember.
Do you remember that movie?
That's the one where he eats French fries every day.
Yeah, he eats
I met that
McDonald's
guy in Canada. We were at a thing together, and he was like fucking super cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He did a show for a minute. That movie was super good.
I think so, yeah.
But I also was fat at the time and just liked watching him eat.
Just makes you want to go to McDonald's afterwards. Like, oh, I could eat this almost every day, and it won't be so bad.
That sounds amazing. What a deal.
Yeah, supersize me. Supersize us.
I was already supersized, dude. I was fucking
How big were you at your biggest?
probably when I was a kid, I had a size 42 waist.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and now I have a size 32 waist.
32, that's a nice size.
Yeah,
That's
so
a nice average size.
I'm like and I'm very active. Like
Uh-huh.
I have abs for the first time in my life.
That's congratulations,
and I
man.
guess in the last 2 years, I work out hard, and I never want to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I started working out hard like 5 years ago, but I was also drinking before that. So I
Yeah.
would just like go get drunk, then fucking. But
Get a nice buzz on before you go to the gym.
yeah, dude, I used to do it all the time. I did coke before the gym a couple of times.
Oh, fuck. That can't be good for your heart.
No, there's no way. But
I've
was
never
like,
done coke. I'm like
Really?
the one of 4 people in this city who has never done
That's
coke.
good though.
Yeah.
and it kind of makes you cool.
Oh,
'Cause it's-
cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
because like
That's my
everybody's
credit. That's my
everybody's
stand-up
never done coke.
Yeah. This next
Dude,
guy's
make
never
business-
done coke.
Make business cards that say Mike Falzone never done coke in quotes, and have you doing this.
Just weed smoke everywhere.
Well, because that means if somebody has coke, you're not gonna take it. You know
No,
what I
I'm
mean? So
not.
they have plenty.
Yeah.
They could just have you
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, you're all set.
Um,
as long as you don't talk to me for a super long period of time. Because I don't like that either.
It's terrible.
Before I started, now I could recognize when somebody's on coke, but I couldn't for a long time.
Well, now there's Adderall too, and people talk the same when they're on Adderall.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Hey, what is ketamine?
Oh, it's horse tranquilizer.
And people do that.
People do it
Like
when I was
recreationally.
when I was like at raves and stuff, people would do it. I don't think I ever did it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was in stuff I did.
Yeah.
But now they do it for therapy, which is bizarre. I have a family member who's doing it or did it, and
Like
really-
prescribed.
Yeah. So like the same way that you would like microdose mushrooms, they would like have a clinical session so you could like get PTSD. It supposedly is really good for PTSD, but the family member that I have who did it really didn't like it. Said it was very intense and like artificial feeling.
Oh,
and
shit.
it's like, yeah, because it's a fucking
Horse tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Right.
I would do psychedelics under circumstances like that. Like I would do ayahuasca or something like that.
The only thing that I'm kind of open to is mushrooms.
Yeah.
And every time I even talk in like a tepid way about this, all my friends are like, just fucking do it's a mushroom.
Yeah.
Just do it. And I was always like, I don't want to go too far in here because it's not all great.
I worry about that too.
Yeah.
I'm so worried about that because I'm very literal. So like if I see it, I feel like my mind's gonna be like, this is not real.
Yeah.
And you're high, and that's terrifying. You know what I mean? And now you're trapped.
Yeah.
Like when you were talking about having medical problems, I'm like, I immediately was like, what if I have that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the reason I don't talk about it a lot because I don't want other people to have that. I don't want
It's
to
a
give that to other
reality.
people.
That shit just happens. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
nobody thinks that shit can happen to them, and it's like, why would it not?
Yeah.
You know?
If you think you're lucky, that's the fun thing about being here is like you think you're lucky enough to make it.
But you don't think you're lucky enough to get a pulmonary embolism? For
you'll
sure.
ever get a kidney stone. But you're gonna have a Hollywood Walk of Fame stone.
Yeah, dude. What you gotta call it? One?
Oh, I did it beforehand.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It was worthless, by the way.
Oh shit.
It was a worthless. It felt like it wasted my time.
Oh no.
And I hate that. Going back
it?
to what we said about time being the most important thing that you have.
Yeah.
It was. I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
This stupid internet thing.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, big waste of time.
How big were you at your biggest?
I don't remember.
Blacked it out.
I blacked it out. Blacked a lot of it out. Maybe 38, 30. Because I'm like a 34, 35 waist now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember ever being above a 36, but it was probably just because I was wearing stretchy pants.
Yeah.
Or sweatpants or something like that.
Stretchy pants.
You know?
Dude,
I was
ripped
never like
so many pants.
morbidly obese.
Yeah.
But I was like, I always had boobs. So I always was like super easy to make fun of because I had boobs and no confidence.
Yeah.
So it was just, I got a lot, you know?
Dude, there's nothing to say after, too. Because it's like, if
Yeah.
you get made fun of, or have you ever had like a pretty girl make fun of you? And you're like, but what? Like, that's the worst, is like when a pretty girl would make fun of me. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, but
I'd be rejected more than I'd be made fun
that happened to
of
me.
by
Yeah.
girls.
That's the worst.
It was more like, I always got real bummed out when my friends would make fun of me, like I said before, to like be cool in front of a new group of people. Like, no, I'm OG. I've been here.
Yeah.
And you're just wanting to fit in with these losers who are all just going to be real estate agents when we
Yeah.
grow up anyway.
You're giving them that much credit? They're
You know?
God, they work in cubicles and shit.
But as soon as you get like real confidence, everyone comes out of the woodwork and it's like, man, it's so cool that you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah, dude. I know.
And then it doesn't matter anymore because you're like, you don't really need that as much as you did when you needed it.
Especially not from those people.
For sure.
Like, it's great when it's from your peers or people you respect, but if it's from somebody you hate from your past, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Doesn't matter.
I still remember when you called me fat in front of Allison, you know? Dude, I was 240 before I went into rehab too.
What, you were how old?
23, 24, 24.
Yeah.
That was big. I was big. And but the same thing. I would just fucking eat like, all the time, and I'd be like, oh, no, no, I'm proud.
Burger falling out of your mouth. Was it mainly like drinking?
Drinking was a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because like in that month of rehab I worked out like crazy when we were there, but I lost 20 pounds. Like
Yeah,
just
you lose it at first. You lose a lot quickly, right?
yeah. And then you plateau. And I've been active since I was like 19, but like my weight just fluctuated because I didn't know how to diet. I thought a diet was a diet and not like as lame as it sounds, like just a lifestyle.
Yeah, for
and it's
sure.
like you just got to switch that shit in your brain because like some of the stuff that I would eat, I won't even touch.
Yeah. I like when you give something up and the taste changes, so you can't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I had kind of a cheat day yesterday, and I've been eating pretty clean for a while, and then yesterday for whatever reason, or Saturday it was. Actually all this weekend. It's been pretty shitty all this weekend. So I had that breakfast sandwich from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you have it and you're like, okay, fine, but it'll be out of my system. And then my biggest thing is I can control myself pretty good during the day. But if I haven't eaten since lunch and I have a show and I'm coming home at like 11:30, 12, I'm like, I got to get something in me.
Yeah.
So I'll have like a taco or something from Taco Bell. Or I went to McDonald's for the first time in a very long time and I got 2 cheeseburgers like right before bed. And you're eating them and you're like, yeah, they're warm and everything. And that part's fine.
It's like a vagina for the sake of a vagina.
Yeah. It's warm. It's
You're
alive.
there.
Yeah. And you paid for it, so you do whatever you want with it.
Sure, yeah.
So I had those, and just like the next morning, I'm like, there was no reason.
Yeah.
Where if I go to bed hungry and I wake up with like fasted stomach, I feel like I'm not like sloshy. And at least like I could work out a little bit, work out on a fasted stomach and like feel like you're doing something rather than working off the 2 steps you took back. That's kind of how I feel about it.
It's so fake feeling. Like that's it doesn't make you feel full. It's just like, what did I do?
Yeah, I just put something in me.
Dude, it hurts so bad. Like now I can't even eat bullshit food. Like in Europe, I'm so excited. I haven't had pasta in so fucking long.
Oh, fuck.
Years and years. You're Italian, so you fucking...
Very.
Yeah.
I got a little upset when you said bullshit food and then you said pasta.
No.
I was like, what's happening?
Because there, have you been there?
I have not.
Okay,
have not.
so there, it's free. It's free game because the shit is... It's just in general, the quality of food is so much better. And so like, it's not sugar and all that shit. And when you have it, it's just always like, I remember the last time I went to Italy, I asked the people if the pasta was made in house and they looked at me like I was a piece of shit. They're like, yes. What do you think? We're getting it from a box? Like, what the fuck would you say that to me for?
Right.
And it's all perfectly al dente. And you're just like, so now I'm at this place where it's like, if I'm going to eat this shit and it's going to be good. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to throw it out.
You're going to have the best shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and there it's just normal food. So I'm like, okay, I'll follow these skinny fucking beautiful Italians.
Yeah.
And I'll be fine.
Right.
I'll feel good about myself.
You just run after a Vespa for a couple
Yeah.
hours and,
just
and burn
fucking
it off.
walk 48 miles looking at their sites.
But like chips, like potato chips, I had Ruffles the other day and I had like 4 Ruffles.
Which ones?
The just regular original Ruffles.
Oh, okay.
And there's just so much. It's almost like I can't taste the chip part.
Yeah.
It's like dumping salt in your mouth.
Have you had a soda lately?
Yes, I had a little bit of I split a Dr. Pepper with somebody.
It's like, it's a lot.
It's too much. Like the real sugar stuff, it tastes fine. So I drink so much water that sometimes I need something other than water to remember how stuff tastes.
Yeah.
But especially because I've had kidney stones a couple times, so now I'm just like obsessive about water. I just always want to be drinking water.
Yeah, I always drink water too.
Once in a while, I have like a diet Coke or something.
Have you had that Zevia stuff? Like the
I don't
stevia
like
soda?
it.
Really?
I wanted to like it a lot.
See, now I wonder if my taste changed. Because it's like a normal person will drink it and they're like, this is gross. And I'm like, but I thought it was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it does taste a little different than water.
Yeah. You're like, it's fine. But it tastes like root beer. And they're like, dude, it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't taste like root beer.
There are some flavors that's really, really good. The root beer's good.
I think the root beer is the most true to a real soda.
And then there's like a cream soda.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
But like the regular, like this is like Pepsi, but not.
Yeah.
Is not good.
So bad.
Yeah.
It tastes,
I bought Zoya Zevia, or what's it called? What's the extract?
Stevia. Yeah.
A box of chocolates.
Yeah.
And that was fine.
Oh, okay.
Like a box of Valentine's, a heart-shaped box of Valentine's Day chocolates.
Oh, what a shitty Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah, for sure. And the day after Valentine's Day, so it was like 80% off.
Oh, no.
And we just like slowly throughout the week had like 1 or 2 chocolates.
You just had it in one sitting. You're just staring at each other.
Yeah,
She's
just on your stomach.
She's looking at you and she's like, you fucked up, right?
Yeah, I was like, you watch me eat these. I bought these for you.
I went and bought flowers the day after Valentine's once. And it was like a very gay, boisterous florist. And he goes, what can I get you? And I was like, I'll just get a bouquet. And then he goes, did you fuck up? I was like, no, maybe.
Oh, dude, I had a moment like that. I went to go pick up a prescription for Zoya. And she was like, okay, what's the name? And I gave her the name. And she was like, oh, what's the birth date on that? And I took too long to answer.
Yeah.
And the girl who was giving me the prescription looked so disappointed.
Oh, no.
And I was like, no, man, I'm just having a day. I just need to, just give me a second. She's like, you don't know she's like, this isn't your wife, is it? And I was like, it's absolutely my wife.
Oh.
And she was like, you forgot her birthday? And I was like, I could just tell that you're judging the fuck out of me right now, and I don't like it.
When's her birthday?
It's 3/27, March 27th.
And when did you pick up the fucking...
Oh, this was a couple months ago.
Yeah, so it's not near the birth, but you're not on alert yet.
No, but you're just supposed to know. Nah. Like I know my dad's birthday and my mom's birthday like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And I normally know her birthday like it's nothing. I just wasn't expecting the question for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't fucking, let's
Whatever.
see. And I had to think about it for a second. And then right when it was coming, she's like, this is your wife, is it? And I was like, am I fucking up right now?
Oh, shit.
But, you know, I went home and I told Zoya that, and she laughed so fucking hard. But
she wasn't like, so you don't
no,
love
she
me
doesn't
anymore.
give a fuck. She knows I know when her fucking birthday is.
Yeah.
You get to a point or I got to a point.
How long
I
have you guys
stop
been
speaking
together?
For everybody. Probably like 8-ish years.
Okay.
So we've been here for 7. So we've been going out for like 8 or 9 years now.
Okay.
And she's just like it sounds very corny, but she's like my person. And me and my friend Matt talk about this all the time. You always think when you get older and you want friends that it's going to go from like you're by yourself, you start off by yourself in like an upside down triangle. And by the time you're at the end of your life, like your triangle expands and you got all these people in the top tier of your triangle. But it's like you get halfway through your life and then the triangle starts going the other way. So it looks like a diamond almost.
Yeah, that makes
so,
sense.
like you go through life and you shed people and like this happens. Somebody shows you their true colors after a few years and you're like, okay, not really friends with that person anymore. And the door's open, but it's like you have your checklist of what you want out of a friend and as a person.
Yeah.
But she's like the most constant, like I always want to hang out with her. She's just one of the best people I know. She makes me better to be around her. And that job description is filled by so few people that like I don't really get when married people or especially divorced people come up to me and they're like, oh, your wife or whatever. And I'm like, dude,
It's projecting.
don't put your shitty failed marriage on me.
Yeah.
You know, and it sounds so harsh to say, but like
It's true.
we got engaged out here where like no one believes in marriage.
Yeah.
And I would be doing all these shows and making the rounds and people would be like, oh, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. And I was like, don't put your shit on me.
Yeah.
Don't put your terrible shit on me. Like just because you couldn't do it with whoever you picked, like you don't know about us.
Well, those are also people who don't know who they are.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. You got to have two people who are secure in who they are.
Yeah.
So the
or
beauty,
maybe they know now, but they didn't then.
Yeah. The beauty is that you know who you are and you don't need this person. You want them there.
Yeah.
And it's just, you hear my neighbors?
There are so many different sounds
I know.
in this house.
And these people complain about us all the time.
Doing what?
Nothing.
What are they
I'm
doing?
so quiet.
What is that noise?
It's a fucking Vitamix. She works from home. She like texted me and was like, "Can you stop doing laundry? I work from home." And I was like, "Listen, you having a fucking blog doesn't mean you work from home, first of all, and second of all, absolutely not. I'm
If
not
I
gonna
have to
stop
click
doing
your
laundry."
ads to make your rent, you don't have a job. Do you tell her about her Vitamix?
Yeah, she texted me one time. The first time, they moved in like a month ago.
Oh, and they're already
Talking shit.
Oh,
and
no.
She goes, she was like, "What happened? Why are you so?" And I go, "I don't know where you lived before, but you live in an apartment building in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
There's noise. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be noisy. And we have a TV, and so like I assume she like heard like residual sound from the TV.
It's not even on a shared wall. Or
No, not at all. And so like you hear them, and that's it. And then whatever. So she said that the floor was vibrating from my laundry machine. I was like, I think you might just be jealous because I have an in-unit washer and dryer.
Yeah, maybe you should just
And-
move back to where
Yeah.
Minnesota or something.
Well,
like
it's
that.
like it just strikes me as a person who's never been told no in their life. So like,
a lot of those here.
yeah, I just texted her and I go, I'm not gonna not do laundry in my home.
Yeah,
and then she
especially during daytime hours.
yes,
Like
And
if you were doing it at 1:00 in the morning, that's an asshole move.
yeah, which I would never do, of course, because I like everybody else in this building is great except
Yeah.
for them. And so it was 2 p.m. that one day on a Saturday, and then the other one was 7 p.m. On a Friday. I was like, why are you guys so noisy? And we were literally sitting here watching TV. That's it. And
Why
it was
are
like
you
at a
so
reasonable
noisy?
volume watching like a music video.
Yeah.
And she's like, we can hear you. And it's like, yeah, what? What kind of maniac are you? Do you expect silence?
Yeah.
So
No, you gotta know where you are, man. You don't have a house in a neighborhood, dude.
no. Yeah, so I think we're getting a puppy too, which is going to be fun.
Good, man.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monetize it.
What? Oh, that is such a good idea.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I should just bring it on stage with me too.
You should.
I'm going to name it Chickpea.
A chickpea. Nice.
So, I miss my dog so much. So it's like I gotta get a dog.
Good.
Well, should we call it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Dude, I really appreciate you being in here. That was a great time. Did you have fun?
I had fun.
Okay, cool. Please plug anything.
Oh,
I have a
man.
decent
I should always
listenership.
have my dates. I'm touring around a lot. I'm going to Portland. When is this coming out?
In 2 Mondays.
2 Mondays. Okay, I'll be in Portland on March 16th, I think, at the Siren Theater. If you want to come see me there, I'll be in New York in May. Other than that, I'm out pretty much every night in Los Angeles. My name is Mike Falzone, so you could. It's easy to find me if you could spell my name. It's like Calzone with an F. And I have a YouTube channel and Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. Wherever you feel comfortable following people.
DM him and ask him really deep, intimate questions.
Yeah,
too.
perfect.
It'll be great. You
Yeah,
guys
I
will
haven't
get
ignored a
along.
DM in a while, so that would be good practice.
Dude, I get so many DMs from people who are like, "Can I be on your show?" And I'm like, "Who are you? I don't even have a show anymore."
Fuck,
Yeah, dude. Well, thanks for being in. I really,
man.
I
Thanks
had a
for
good time.
having me.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. Everybody, please like and subscribe. Leave me a rating and thumbs up, and send me nudes or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Keep blacking out.